Zohran Mamdani winning the Democrat primary for mayor in New York City has sent political shockwaves through the system because all it's doing is exposing the Democrat Party exactly for what they are, the home for far left progressive radical socialists, okay? But this is a problem because that idea, that line of thinking is not going to fly in mainstream America, something of which is going to be pointed out here by Stephen A. Smith in spectacular fashion. So before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zohran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like, I'm not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a democratic socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy, okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Now, let me tell y'all something right now. Have you seen some of the things on this brother's agenda? When I tell you that Mamdani's agenda, freezing the rent, so you know the price can't elevate, right? Fast, fare-free buses. No cost childcare. Free childcare. Free. Okay? This is what he's saying now. Okay? City-owned grocery stores. Now, y'all know when stuff is handled by the bureaucrats, it's one thing for them to be involved. It's one thing for them to have regulations to making sure they look out for the modern, everyday American citizen. But it's another thing entirely where you're the one running it. You're the one running it. Every city in the United States of America, at least it feels this way, is in debt. Don't know how to handle a bank account to save their damn lives. Nationally speaking, our debt has eclipsed $37 trillion. The state of California is billions in debt. New York City ain't too damn far behind. And we're supposed to listen to you say that you're going to be in charge of grocery stores? Taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest New Yorkers. Fine. Mamdani, can you take advice from your boy Stephen A? Can you take a little advice, please? Why didn't you just take free buses, no-cost child care, and rent freezes and put them on the category of taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest New Yorkers? Why didn't you just lump it all under that one category? It wouldn't look as bad. Because guess what? Nothing's free. Everybody got to pay something. There's no way in hell it's free. You think the bus driver's going to drive for free? You think the train conductor's going to drive for free? You think free groceries are going to be given out? You think landlords ain't going to look to pad their pockets? The money coming from somewhere. So if it's coming from somewhere, where's it coming from? The wealthiest New Yorkers. That's where it's coming from. And big corporations. Why did you just take that and lump that all under that? It would have looked better. But you didn't do it. Instead, you told on yourself. And this brings us to a different subject and something more palpable. I got a secret to tell you that you might not realize. Not a damn one of these people working for me for free. Every time I turn around, I got a different bill. And I'm not faulting them. You know why? Because every time I turn around, I'm looking to get paid by somebody else. Where the hell are these people coming from thinking they get to get stuff for free? Who are these people? We got to pay our bills. Who the hell are you to pay your bills? To not pay your bills. That's what we're saying. That's why we want a flourishing economy. That's why we're not completely opposed when the GOP says, hey, if you're an abled, younger body, you should be able to go out there and work. Now, the job opportunities got to be out there. But if the job opportunities are out there and you're an able, healthy body, what the hell is your problem? As far as I'm concerned. But the rest of our asses are supposed to be out there trying to make it happen. That's the way it's supposed to be. And if it ain't that way, what's the problem? So when you hear Zohran Mamdani come out with freezing the rent and free bus rides and all of this stuff, wait a minute now, free child care. Hold on. When you see him being endorsed by AOC, when you hear the Jasmine Crockett's of the world and people like that going off, listen, I respect where your heart is. But at the end of the day, what you're really, really saying is, we want America to burn down.
Oh my goodness, that was a fiery one from Stephen A. Smith there. But what he has to understand is that he's a dinosaur in the Democrat Party, okay? People like him are on the way out. The up-and-comers, they're all the radical leftist socialists, okay? So when Stephen A. Smith wonders, who are these people? It's the new generation of Democrats that have been indoctrinated with all these crazy ideas through all of the college that you want to give away for free, okay? That is who this new generation is. The people who think they don't have to work. They can make a utopia if they just take away the rich people's money. Okay. But of course, as Stephen A. Smith points out rightly, the money has to come from somewhere. Okay. It's got to be collected from businesses, from individuals. And all that really means is a wealth transfer from people who work or businesses who provide a good or a service and giving it to others. And what that really means is somebody who works for a living now has less to live on, and a company will probably end up raising prices just to accommodate for the losses they're giving to everybody else. And that brings us to another good point that Stephen A. Smith brings up, right? No one works for free. Yes, you can go out there and volunteer and help your community and all of that stuff. But when you're trying to provide for yourself and a family, you need to have an income. And of course, that is exactly what Zohran Mamdani is against as a democratic socialist. Because as a socialist, you're against the free exchange of goods and services. All right? If you work smarter, harder, have a better idea than somebody else, you don't get rewarded for that because it's the collective that matters. And that, of course, brings us to the eventual end game of socialism, right? If you're providing food and housing and possibly a universal basic income to somebody who isn't working, that just disincentivizes everybody else who is working. And then, of course, your economy and country eventually collapses, right? As Margaret Thatcher famously said, the problem with socialism is that eventually you run out of other people's money. Because why would you work if you're going to get something for free provided by somebody else? And then eventually everyone stops working. And lastly, as Stephen A. Smith rightly points out, it's basically the destruction of America, right? You want to burn this place down because you don't agree with our economic policies, even though capitalism throughout the entire world has provided more equality and freedom to anyone else throughout the history of the entire world. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.